Hey, are you taking care of yourself? Or are you nurturing your team more than you are nurturing your health and well being? Are you investing more energy into building a legacy, your dreams for the future, than you are in providing a healthy foundation for those dreams? Hi, this is Connie Suarez. I'm a network marketing mentor who is passionate about helping hardworking network marketing leaders help their teams cross stage. That passion comes from years of frustration. When I worked old school strategies, tried to get my team to use the same, and saw them struggle with it. And therefore, they didn't cross stage. It was hard to see people that had given their confidence in me not reach the goals they wanted to reach. And I started looking for something better for me and for them. And when I found it, I thought, wow, this is great. But I had invested time and money into that. And I thought, I know that some people won't. And I want them still to be successful. So now here I am sharing the things that I am learning, have learned, and the things that are working for me. And one of the things that we all know is needed, I don't think you have to invest much to hear about the need for self-care. We need to prioritize our self-care, don't we? And yet we all know. I mean, we know to prioritize sleep, to eat a healthy diet, and we know what for us what that is. And it's kind of different for some people. Some in my family, I have two sisters that practiced gluten-free or pretty much something in that area. I've never felt the need to do without gluten, fortunately. I know some people are lactose intolerant. Fortunately, that's not me. I have to watch the balance of my carbs and my proteins. But we all have a diet that we know we need to keep. We know that we need to take time off and nurture ourselves. But do we do it? So I I believe that we really do. I want that for you because what's the point in building a successful team if you end up yourself a spent person? So I have this list for you. It's a list that AI provided for me when I asked them to give it a humorous twist. And so I love a good joke. Love a good laugh, at least a chuckle, if not a belly laugh. And so here is an AI touch of humor to 5 self-care tips. I'll give you a little human perspective as well. Embrace your inner sloth. Okay, hanging from a tree? I don't think so. Being so slow that the moss grows on you? I don't think so. I will never be that slothful. I am somebody that really likes to be active. But there are times when we really do need to take a little time off. And it doesn't have to be a long time. I think the best vacation that my family and I ever practiced, for me, I think was the time that we went to one of the many lakes in west of the Denver area. We had to drive a little further, and we got to the very inlet of this lake. And we'd passed various places where others were fishing and camping. And we found this place, had found it previously and went back to it. It was so deserted and just nobody there. And we set up our fishing poles right there at the inlet. And I usually didn't like fishing as much as my husband did. I wanted to be out hiking or something, but this time I set up my pole to just sit there. And then I found myself hoping I didn't get a bite. And I rested. And I sat there in front of water. Water has a wonderful attraction to people, whether it is a peaceful lake or a rushing mountain stream or a roaring waterfall. It it just has a healing aspect to it. That weekend was 4 days, and I was never so refreshed in all of the times that I took a little time off. I embraced my inner sloth and I just sat there. That's what we need to do sometimes. And it doesn't have to be for very long. And sometimes it can be for just an afternoon. And the important thing is, and I'm going to give you at the end, the one thing that you have to remember when you take that inner sloth time, that there's one thing that you have to do to get back going. So embrace your inner sloth is the first tip. This one, I'm sure AI borrowed, stole from humans. Dance like no one's watching, because they're not. Well, there's some real good wisdom in that. First of all, we need to act every day like no one's watching. And if you're like me, you are thinking that everyone is watching and judging. It's not true. Yeah, there's some people out there that do, but they don't count. Who cares about them? So dance like no one's watching. Whatever you do it like no one's watching. Do it for you. I'm not a dancer. I don't have a, a lick of rhythm, but I love music. I love to make music. It's a frustration to me that really the only instrument I can play is my voice, and it's an okay voice, but it's not great. But I can't play the piano very well. I haven't learned any other instruments, and I'm always wishing that I could make more music than I do. But I can dance, and I love to dance to, I think my favorite ballet music is the Montagues and the Capulets by Prokofiev. It's just a fascinating piece of music, and I like to play it and get up and move to it. And maybe it's dancing and maybe it's not. All I can say is that it freaks my dog out. And poor him, he no longer has my mom's lap to run to when I practice dancing. Dance like no one's watching. Let yourself go. And that means when you're doing a video, when you post like no one's watching. Post your passion. And that's self-care. Here's something. I wonder if this AI had been sneaking into my personal likes and tastes. I don't know. Number 3 is indulge in phenomenal self-care. And that's when I read it as an American who speaks English, I want to say indulge in phenomenal care. And it's talking about having a warm bowl of your favorite comfort food, like a steaming bowl of Vietnamese pho. Pho. I'm not sure how you say it. It's not pho, but it's spelled Pho. Oh, I love pho. The flavors they're just a little bit unfamiliar to me, and just that little bit of a difference. But if your favorite comfort food is spaghetti and you add maybe just a hint more spice to it than usual, whatever it is, indulge in it and slurp those noodles like you're auditioning for a spaghetti commercial. Savor every savory spoonful. And don't worry about the mess, because I know if you eat pho like I do, there will be a mess, but my taste buds are so happy. Number 4, yes, a bubble bath. The aquatic meditation is what AI calls it. So we're encouraged to transform our bathroom. I haven't done this in a while, but I need to do that. Transform it into a serene sanctuary. Make sure that it's nice and warm if you're like me and never quite warm enough. Or if you're not like me and you really are never quite cool enough, do it the other way around. But I make it warm. I, I like to have just candles. And then AI says use lots of stiff bubble foam and make yourself a sculpture. There are extra points in it for you if you create a selfie, and even more points if you post it. That's why you want the bubbles. Okay, the last AI, humorous self-care, kind of takes us back to the first one in a sense. It says become a procrastination connoisseur. And it goes on to say that if we have mastered the art of procrastination, then use it. Use it for our good and turn it into a self-care activity. There are times when we really do need to use the procrastination. Give ourselves just a little more time, like I did this morning with watching reels. I do that kind of thing because I need to get new ideas for doing reels for myself. The problem is that there's some pretty entertaining reels out there, and it can go, you can just keep reeling, which is not good. This morning I kept reeling for half an hour, longer than I should have. And then I was saying, okay, one more. And I kept doing one more. And then I got to one that did look intriguing. But then I stopped procrastinating. I said, no, now you quit. And I did. And that was so good for me. Making it, that was just a huge win because I cut myself off. Now, I'm going to use that as a transition to a win that I learned yesterday in a training in the mastermind group that I am privileged to be a part of. We learned that we need to have a way to win the day. How was it? Own the day. And that means that you have to take one thing that you really have to do. So you're having a really hard day. Yesterday, I was having a really hard day. 3 days in a row of not really sleeping well, even though I've been doing all the things that I know to do, short of medication, to sleep through the night. And it was wearing on me yesterday. And so we have those days, don't we? Well, on those days, we have to, whether it's embracing our inner sloth or becoming a procrastination connoisseur, I don't think that it's either one of those. Sometimes you just have to say, today it's okay not to do as much. But what we learned in this training is that when we are having one of those days, we have to pick one thing. And by doing that one thing, we own the day. I had started out the morning by owning the day. I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time, but I did. The one thing that I needed to do that day, I posted what I needed to post, and then I took some time off. I got my recliner and I started reading. Well, then we had this training, at 3 in the afternoon. And so then I got back to work. I did the second one thing that I needed to do that day, and I got the own the day tip. By doing one thing, and if you can, two things that you have to do, then you own the day. And it doesn't own you. And whatever is going on that is pulling you down doesn't own you. And sometimes, well, let's just be transparent here, Connie. Connie doesn't like to pick up after herself. She does, but not as well as Mrs. Clean does. If I had time, or if I took the time, made the time to post something, I would post, Martha Stewart doesn't live here. It's a good thing. But when you're in that kind of a mess and you need to do something and you're having one of those days, or maybe you're very busy building your business, take time to do one thing that your kitchen needs or one thing that your bedroom needs, and take care of one corner and own the day. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you found a little humor in it. And remember to take care of yourself. Nurture you so you can nurture your team. Yes, build those dreams. Work hard at building those dreams, but work very hard at nurturing the person that is building those dreams. This is Connie Suarez. I'll be in touch.